exercise where we're going to be calculating how many grains we have. So we'll start off with starting square is going to be 1. And we know we're going to be multiplying by 2 each time. So we're going to do 1 times 2, and then times 2, and then times 2 again. So we'll just go ahead and say like this const expression multiplication factor. We'll say that to 2. Int multiplication factor. We'll set that to 2. And total grains so far, and we'll set that to 0. We can actually, we'll say that like this for what we're doing. And now we want to figure out, we'll say grains for 1,000. We'll set it to -1. Explain why. Int grains for 1 million. We can actually make it a little bit more readable. The reason we do that is because as we go through the loop, we're actually going to do a few tests for this, and then int grains for 1 billion is also -1. And now we could just do a very simple loop. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 64 plus I. And what we do is like this. Total grains so far plus gets starting current grain count, really. Actually, starting square grains. Make sure that we know because we're starting at 1, so we'll be make it easier to read. So we'll do it like this. Total grains so far is equal starting square grains, and we could do it like this. Now, if total grains so far is greater than or equal to grains for 1,000 and grains for 1,000 is equal to -1. We haven't set that value yet, so we'll say grains for 1,000 is equal to -1 is equal to I. Actually, what we're going to do is reverse it so we can do this test and fail more quickly. So far, and then we'll do starting square grains. I think that's what we're going for, yeah. Starting square grains, is that what we want? Yeah, starting square grains times multiplication by multiplication factor. So we're doubling the number of grains that we have, and we are going to be there. So that's multiply that value starting. So that's going to go 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, so on, so on, so on. We're essentially squaring that. And I'm going to tell this total. We're squaring the starting square grain so far, and then eventually we're going to go ahead and add that to the total grains so far. And we're going to keep adding that to that value. So it's effectively just doing basic calculations. Because the exercise asks us to put and that's it. We don't actually have to do any input in here. We're just printing values out. So let's go ahead and run the program. Let's run the program now. And there we go. So we could actually go ahead and square it up, and we can see that squares for 1,000 is 10, 20, and 30. And we can see that at some point the whole thing just sort of stops working. And if we scroll up, you can see that. And that's right around 31, 32. So when you try to multiply beyond that, essentially it just stops doing the multiplication. But you can see how the numbers work and how the addition works. And so these are the values. And that pretty much wraps up the program and exercise. And that's about it.